Open justice and respect the right to a fair trial, and the ability for proceedings to be scrutinized by media, by NGO observers, by the public is really crucial to ensure those rights, those freedoms. So, yeah.
Could you just repeat your organisation where people can find more information?
Sure. So I work for Reporters Without Borders, which is known internationally as Reporters Sans Frontières. Check out our website, rsf.org. We've got a lot of information about this case, including our observations from February, from September, our comment the other day. We'll have comment out on what happened today, even if I don't get in. But yes, I've been tweeting too, so find me on Twitter, and yeah, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with the appeals process, and we will continue to advocate for Mr. Assange's rights and freedom, and for the underpinning issues here, because this again was always about press freedom, it was always about journalism. And so the targeting of Mr. Assange in this way, this ordeal he has faced for 10 years, has serious implications already. Even if he is let go today, the implications will be so long lasting. This has already had a chilling effect on reporting for years, especially national security reporting. So we need to now find ways to begin to repair that damage and to ensure better protections for journalists in the US, the UK, and internationally.
What's your opinions on how the press has actually treated Julian in the past?
Okay, so so again, it's been a very long 10 years, right? Yeah. And there's been various phases of popular support for him and then not. One thing that I will say is the deeper that I became involved in this case, the many levels of misperceptions became apparent. And I found that many skeptics, many people who felt that they were against Julian Assange, even if they claimed to support press freedom and freedom of expression, some things about the case that they believed to be true simply weren't, or had been misrepresented. The deeper I got involved in this, it did seem to me to be deliberate, and I don't necessarily want to blame the media, but there seems to be a deliberate attempt to portray him in a certain light, because if he was seen as unlikable, there was less public sympathy for him, and therefore less public pressure on the states involved. So that allowed the US and UK governments to get away with what is a political prosecution. I do think as well that the publics in the UK and US in particular had difficulty accepting that their states were capable of this, because we're all inclined, the way that we're raised, the way that we are brought up, is to see our institutions in good faith, to believe that our democracy works, that our checks and balances will not fail us. But those of us who have worked in more authoritarian parts of the world saw this case for what it was. This always felt political. This very much feels like cases I've worked on in countries much further down our World Press Freedom Index. So it was unhelpful that it became so much about Julian Assange's personality and about all of these other things, but it was always worth bearing in mind what these specific proceedings were about. And even if somebody has decided that they didn't like him for whatever reason, why does that matter? Why do we only defend cases of people that we decide fit our particular, vision of what we like or don't like, especially when we don't know the person involved? Most of the people who have these opinions have never met him, have never had that experience. So a lot of these opinions were really deep formed. It might have been a snap judgment based on headlines 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and so that was really unhelpful. So as a campaigner, that was one of the hardest challenges, was countering those deep-seated beliefs that people had. Normally my challenge in cases that we take up is getting the case known, getting it out there, making sure people are aware, but this case is different because nearly everybody knew this case or thought they knew and understood this case, and it was in a question of having to change minds. But I was encouraged by the reactions on Monday, which I think show that people now do understand that this case is about journalism and press freedom. I would have preferred to not feel so alone and attacked at times for defending this case, but now I think the times are changing, and I hope now that we can see greater solidarity going forward, so that the next time this happens, because this will happen again, we will see more examples of powerful states working, throwing vast resources at attempts to silence public interest reporting, particularly at whistleblowers and others who are reporting on classified information and things that states want to keep hidden. So this will happen again, and I hope that this will be a lesson learned for the international community, for the media, for the free expression community, for the human rights community. We need better solidarity in the first place and consistently throughout next time, or else this could happen again. And I do believe had that been different, we could have seen a resolution to this case sooner. Yeah. So let me ask these gentlemen if they're going to let me in, and if they won't, I'm happy to. Do we know if it started? Does anybody know if it's actually started? So no, there's others. There was 2 others on the family list as well that I don't think were elected.
20 minutes ago, they were still letting press in.
Yeah.
They said that if there was anything, they'd let them
Yeah, but I was on the family list today, and then I just couldn't come out of the way of the I worked like a 20-hour day on Monday.
Oh my god.
And about 8 hours of that was in the cold.
It was so cold on Monday, wasn't it? It was
It was
freezing.
freezing.
At least it's not as bad as Monday.
I mean, I think I'm still in
must
my
be
core
shattered.
cold from Monday.
Yes, I know. Oh my god.